Okay. Father, we thank you for today. We pray that whatever that we are going to say or discuss will be of beneficial to mankind and will be pleasing unto you. We thank you. We call this day done in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, everyone, thank you for joining Diana's Diary. My special guest is Sister Lauren. I don't, know how to pronounce her name properly, but I'll leave it to her after I've done my introduction. I'm not going to do like proper introduction, like how we do it. When we see a special person for the first time, we always want them to tell us a bit about themselves. So I'll leave that to her to tell us. But with the little that I know or my encounter with her, I want to share it on the social media platform. I don't think she's heard me, say it anywhere because I haven't had the encounter. Most of the time you just see people and you admire them and they don't know why you admire them. So today I've got the opportunity. So I want to describe her how I see her. Okay? And this is good because it's relationship. And my first impression of her, okay? So thanks for joining us. Thank you. Someone said you look gorgeous. So family, we happened to move in Northampton, and myself and my husband, we've changed church, not too much, but since we came to London, we've just done 2 churches. So we happen to find ourselves in this special church, Victory Bible Church. And most of the time when I go to church, I always want to go to the singing department. I'm not really a good singer, but one thing I've love to do is that I just don't want to go to church just to go to church. I just want to serve, like service to mankind. That has been my passion and nature. So I went to Victory Bible Church and I joined a special group which is different, and I think I'll encourage most churches that are now coming or have been to put this kind of organization in their churches, because I normally don't see it in most churches. Maybe the churches that I've been to, I don't know whether they do it all, because Victory Bible Church, they had this department called Victory Care, and what they do is that they give alms to the needy and even people in the church. They do so much. It entails a lot. Okay, so I was like, I like to give. Giving is me, and whatever I have to share. So I found it as like a calling, something that I can relate to and I can do my best when I joined that organization. So that's how come I found myself there. And luckily for me, I met our leader, our leader who was so superb. Okay, Sister Lauren, I happened to meet her at church when I was introduced to the group. She told me a bit about the group, and one thing that stood out with me and made me wanted to give all my all, even though I know I like to give, I like to do this and that. It entails, it was like a commitment that you have to put yourself into. And she was like, there were so many people in the group, and this is a group that has survived and now was surviving. So it's like there wasn't so much people committing into the group. So she called me on phone and she was like, Diana, this is a group that I'm so passionate about, and even if it's left with 2 or 3 people, I want us to just push it through. I've faced so much challenges in this group, but what I want is results. So what I took from her is that it's not about the multitude, it's not about the number of people in the group, but she wants results, and that makes her happy, because there were so much challenges, so much setbacks, so much drawbacks, and I really wanted to deliver, because that word did sit with me, honestly, because you were like, I want us to bring results. I just don't want this one is doing this like jack of all trades. So many people. Thank you. So I spoke to one gentleman, which I don't want to, mention name because of your role and your. So I'm so glad, family, that I have no other person. When I started doing this show, she's a coach, she's a mentor, she wears so many crowns, and I felt and I know that her addition to Diana's Diary will go a long way. So I approached her last minute.
Yeah.
And I said, Sister Lauren, I know you are busy. She's traveling all over the world. She's going up and down. Even her schedule, mostly I deal with Saturday, Sunday. And sometimes those professors and big people, they don't have time. So I arrange it to suit their own time. So this is the little time she's giving me. And even she has to rush and go because she's got other commitments. So please, if you come on, please don't go, because she's got a lot of things to help us. If the time doesn't permit us, she will come back again.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll come back again.
I will.
Yeah. So Sister Lauren, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't take this opportunity for granted, because I know you've got a lot in you to give to people, and you have this sacrificial spirit in you that you want to give back to the world. And I'm so happy that you are giving back to the community and to Diana's Diary, people that follows me. So without much ado, I just want you to do us the honor by introducing yourself, who you are, what you do. By the way, you look so beautiful.
No, so do you, Diana. So do you, Diana.
You look so beautiful. Yeah. So just tell us a bit about yourself, what you do. Let us know you, because like the flyer, I had to change the dates because of your schedule. So I kept changing the date, so I didn't want to post it around, and it's like 9th, I took 9th, and I took 13th, and just last minute she said, Diana, okay, let's do it today. Okay, so if you get to know the flyer last minute, it's because of her schedule. She's very, very busy. Very, very busy. So please,
Diana,
thank you so much. Yourself.
Thank you so much, first of all, Diana. And thank you, viewers. So wherever you are, Diana, your show is just amazing.
Oh,
and you're an amazing woman.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad that you put together this platform for so many people. Initially I thought it was for young people, but really it's not. It's for everybody.
Thank you.
So all, and people you brought before me are just amazing people. So I'm really, really honored to be here today. And I hope that I will, meet up to your expectations today. You have introduced me, so I will try my best.
The topic is also last minute.
And yes, and the topic is a heavy one. It's a very interesting topic when I saw it.
Yeah.
And as you said, you want me to introduce myself. I will try to introduce myself in a few words.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm Laurence Mbombo. I live in the UK, same town as Diana. And I've got different hats, and I will mention, yes, I'm a coach, life coach, life and professional coach. So people who really, want to get to, they go achieve their goals and feel that they need, a bit more guidance, a bit more, they need strategies, they need, tools to achieve those goals. Yes, the door is open. I'm also a social work practitioner. So yes, we love children, don't we?
Yeah.
So yes, protecting children and bringing families together. I've written a book recently, Diana. I don't know if you've seen my book.
Oh wow!
Yes, it's on
How
Amazon.
many books have you written so far?
I've written one book and one guide for coaches. So,
oh wow!
So we say two one manual and one book on Amazon.
The name of the book, the title.
Yeah, and it's actually in French and English because I speak French and English.
Yeah.
So yes, so if you, for some people, so you know, some people have tried to find the book on Amazon, they couldn't. But if you type my name, you got to type my name for some reason.
Okay.
So the name of the book is Mistake is Not an Option.
Hey!
Yeah.
Wow, we should have done that topic.
Maybe next time.
Oh my
Mistake is
goodness.
not an option. Maybe next time. But
Wow.
I think the title, I mean, the topic of today, you know, some of the information I've covered is in the book, so I'm not going to give up too much because I want to encourage people to actually read the book. Mistake is not an option.
Yeah.
So if you speak French or English, you got both.
You can, yeah.
Yes, I'm a mother, so that's a full-time job, isn't it? It's a
It
full-time job.
is.
I'm a mother for life. I'm a mother for life, all the way. I'm a wife. That's also a job.
Yeah, full-time. It is a full-time job. Imagine me going to school runs. We have to do this. I need to prepare all the food. Get
on time.
Yeah, I'm organized. I just I have to be.
So all that, and I'm a sister. She called me Sister Laurence because
Sister
in church,
Laurence,
yes, I'm a Christian, so I've got that role as well as a Christian. And what else do I do? Yes, so I'm also a fitness instructor. So online, so if there are women out there or men who wants to keep up, you know, stay in shape, it's called Afro Moves. And yes, so all that. And I think, you know, so I'm also an entrepreneur because I do encourage women entrepreneurs to, you know,
start their own
startups. Don't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow might never come. And Diana, you're an example.
Yeah.
So yes, entrepreneur. I've started a school project in Africa, in the Congo, DRC, where I come from originally. And it is a second year of operating. So children are my passion in different ways. Everything I mentioned.
Everything children.
Yes, so children, the future.
Yeah.
And so that's me in a nutshell. Yeah. In a nutshell.
Oh wow! I told you guys, she wears so many crowns: an entrepreneur, a coach, a mentor, an author. Okay, I've got to know that today. Wow.
I didn't mention my YouTube channel, the Laurence Motivational. So
okay,
hopefully
we have to follow you.
You'll be invited as well.
Oh, that would be great. It will be. Hey, it will be an honor. It will be an honor to be on there. Hey, it will be a great honor. Yeah. Laurence Motivational.
Yeah, Laurence Motivationals.
Laurence. Please, let's all go and follow people like this because we need a push in life. Okay, and these are some of the experiences we need to hear and have to hear to help stop us from making unnecessary mistakes. There are some mistakes that we do because of ignorance, of not knowing. So we need to step in things like that. So Lauren, you know, with your education, did you ever see yourself coming this far? Like you from growing up, did you ever see yourself that you are going to be traveling all over the world? You're going to be an author, write a book, and see yourself this big?
To be fair, now that you mention it, now you're breaking down into pieces. You know, I'm saying actually no, no.
Yeah.
No, in school, yes. My parents they did value education, and valued education, and that was, whether you like it or not, it was instilled in me that education was important. But really, where it was going to lead me to, that was not really, you know, where actually found me today. And I think there's always layers that you discover as you progress in life and you develop. You actually get to know yourself better, and that's where, you know, what I've done so far is, you know, part of my self-discovery, I can say.
Yes, it does. It does. Was there any challenging situation that, you know, could have hindered this dream?
Oh yes. Challenges. There's always challenges. When to get to the next level, you know, most people will experience challenges. But again, it's in my book. It's part of the learning. And without those challenges, you can't get bigger and stronger. So all those challenges, I would say, for example, do you want me to mention one?
I want you to share with us one, so that, like, my passion is also the youth, so that a youth that is out there, look at all this crown, you are traveling all over the world, aspire to be like you. And if you share that example, it might be her story or his story. So I love the story. So something's personal, if you don't mind, like growing up, a challenge that you were able to overcome.
Okay,
I will able to see yourself now.
I will use one challenge to one of the challenges that come to my mind is you mentioned it before, was ignorance. Not knowing what's on offer. For example, university, a lot of people, because we mentioned the youth, choose a module or a specific course because it sounds good. But you'll be surprised how many courses are, unfortunately, bogus courses which will not actually lead you to anything specific. So you find some people with start a course, and when they finish, they feel that they're actually on same spot, square zero, with that qualification, and that the loan. Some of people in the UK have to get a loan. So what was my challenge? My first degree didn't really lead me anywhere. I'm not going to mention what degree it was unless people ask me personally, but it was a degree that didn't lead me anywhere. But I was fortunate to have got to a tutor, a lecturer. My main lecturer was very nice. So he called me one day, and without telling me that it was not really a course that would lead me anywhere, he suggested that I consider a master's degree in social work, which was a professional qualification. And I followed his advice, Diana. And the rest is history. So I was saying that lecture gave me the right advice to actually consider a master's degree that will actually lead me to a profession, and put me straight on a path that changed my life completely. I was able to actually use that qualification to my benefits and to the benefits of others. And the rest is history. So that's one of the examples. So ignorance and actually the benefit of what you learn from it is meeting the right people and getting the right advice at the right time.
Thank you. This is a great example. So now our topic. Bonding strongly. I just gave you the topic this afternoon, isn't it? Is it this morning? Yesterday evening. And you were like, how did you know me to put this question, out there for me? And I'm like, because I really, study people. I haven't got to know you much, but I'm someone that I read between the lines. I study people before, so that I don't step on people's toes. I don't like that. But I also study people to get things out of them to build myself. Okay, so like, we shouldn't just see people or have an encounter with someone and let the people lead, because people don't really stay in our lives most of the time.
That's true.
That's what I've realized. So when you get the opportunity to have somebody in your life, enjoy the moment and just make sure that you take something positive from that person.
100%.
Yes. So this is my secret.
Okay.
I'm giving it out. So if I have an encounter with anybody, if it's negative, like I learn from people's behavior and I get to study them, and I'm like, oh, this I can get from her, because this is something that I could relate with you, because I know that with all the crowns that you have, you are so humble.
Thank you.
You're very humble. Honestly, because it's not everybody that can bond so easily, like with the positions that you see yourself. I can't just be having a conversation with you like this, and even at church, oh Diana, how are you? You're nice, and with the Victory Care, you are able to even let me express my suggestions. Today is like we are talking about it's like I'm bringing everything in every Yes. So anyway, the topic, I just brought it up. I just made something up. I'm like, I know you're going to nail it. If you're not able to nail it, it's okay. But I believe in myself that relationship is something that is sinking nowadays. People don't know how to hold relationship. We always let relationship go anyhow. So finding you, I was like, I'm going to give this topic to
Oh
sister.
my word.
Because we need to let people bond strongly. We need to make relationship work. That's why I gave you this topic. So I'm hoping that we will help somebody out there.
I hope so too. I hope so too.
Yeah. So let's.
I will try my best, but really, you think viewers also we communicate with us?
Yes, please, viewers, as we are on, please try and also contribute, because we are all learning. Knowledge is not in just one person's mind, and with your experiences, you can bring it on, and with your questions, which I love, please be asking us questions and also your contribution, because we don't know it all. All right. Thank you very much. And kindly share. Let somebody also come and enjoy. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So we talked about relationships.
Relationship. Things that will help us bond strongly in relationships. Just give us like a free flow for maybe like 10 minutes, and I'll ask some few questions. Then we'll leave the audience to also ask their questions and contributions, if you don't mind.
And because relationships is quite a broad topic as well. Different layers. Is it a familial level, friendship? Is it a relationship like a partner, like husband and wife? So do you want me to emphasize more on which part of relationship? Otherwise we can go on and on about it.
So we've got you said we've got a husband and wife, we've got friendship.
Yeah. Familial relationship, like brothers, sisters, parents, those type of. You want to focus on couples. Which one do you want us to focus on?
Guys, we've given us the options, so isn't this lovely? I think let's do friendship.
Somebody mentioned because I can prepare with a couple in mind.
A bit of all. Someone said a bit of all.
All right, okay.
A bit of all. So a bit of family, a bit of friendship, and a bit of marriage. We know marriage, whether you like it or not,
it's going to come in.
It's going to come in, and we have to. We can't take marriage out. And a lot of friendship are falling nowadays. People comes in friendship with so much expectation, and when they don't meet it, and people nowadays are like, I don't care. I don't care whether I lose the relationship or not. Okay. Unfortunately, which is not good. Before, I didn't see it as that when growing up, like back home. But in this country, it's like, oh, you step on my toes, I don't care, you should go, forgiveness and all these kinds of things. That's why I want us to treat this kind of how we can bond so strongly that we can love ourselves. Because if we get to know the essence of relationship, we wouldn't just give it away. In marriage, you've just married for 20 years. And someone will say, I will stay in because of the kids. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't say because of the kids I'm staying in. What will make it work for you to enjoy that kind of relationship in your marriage? Family-wise, there are so many things because of money or because of a little help someone has to offer will just jeopardize family relationship. So it's a lot.
It's very complex, and usually it's external factors. But when you talk about relationship, you need a bond. The relationship to grow, we need to have a bond and nurture that bond. So when you mentioned that topic, I looked up. Actually, I did a little bit of research. Allow me, viewers.
Please.
So look at relationship as a deep emotional connection and sense of closeness. Okay. That forms between.
A bit louder. Can we hear, sister?
Can you hear me? So it's
Rabao. She's a lady, so please pardon her.
So I'm saying a bond is a deep emotional connection and sense of closeness.
Okay.
That forms between people. And if I look at two people, it can be your brother, your sister, your parents, your partner, whoever, even your colleague. You know, that bond that forms has a different levels. And the most important one is the emotional level. Yeah, it's the emotional level. When it's about growing. So if I focus, let's say you're born in a family, you don't choose your brother and your sister.
You don't.
You know?
But they are, you have to.
But even if you don't choose them, you will realize that you get closer to one sibling and not the other for one reason. And what's the reason? If you observe really well, you see that you expect when you spend more time with that person, you make more effort with that person, and that will definitely be
Is it like
get back to you?
Yeah.
I can't say the word sometimes, but it's what you sow is what you reap, basically, in a relationship. Most of the time. So let's say in a family setting, you spend more time, let's say with your parents, sitting, they call it sitting at the feet of your mother or your grandmother, and you will learn, and that person get to know you, and you get to know the person more and more. So can you see that there's an effort that you've made?
Oh, so reciprocate.
I couldn't say it. Thanks. So reciprocate. So there's an effort that you put in that relationship. In the family setting, you were automatically put in that situation where you had to see that person every day. Yeah. Friendship level, you choose your friends. Yeah. And usually you mentioned something about the way we actually got to know each other.
Yeah.
You know, you joined the department. I happened to be in that department. There were other people in the department.
Yeah.
Today, I'm not sitting with other people in the department. And you mentioned something else. We did spend more time together. I mean, phone calls, you know, listening to each other, consultations, you know, making that effort, attending meetings and all that. So there was an effort that was put in.
There was.
You know?
There was.
And that's how you got to know me a little bit more, and I got to know you a little bit more, because I wouldn't just go to anybody's, you know, channel, you know, and share information, personal information, or even professional information. It's because of that relationship we developed, you know. So that emotional level was actually built from that time because we both put an effort. Yeah. So if it was one way, let's say you have made an effort and I've never responded to that, I probably wouldn't be here today, because you would have probably been discouraged with my reaction, with my actions. And likewise, yeah. So it's something, that is an example I want to give. So couple levels, relationship levels. I just also want to see if anybody is saying anything about relationship level. You choose your partner. Yeah. Unless it's a forced marriage, which actually is illegal in the UK. So if it's a relationship where you actually made that conscious decision to get into, you know, that agreement, let's call it, with that person, and you say, okay, I'm gonna be that person's partner, wife or husband, it's because you would have found some connection at some level, and for that to become a bond, to grow, to have that connection, emotional connection, again, it needs some level of commitment. You know, you want to stay with that person because you find one thing. It could be one thing that can bring you, you know, together. Sometimes people will say, okay, it was a physical, you know, whatever. But you know, how do we nurture that? And that's what the essence. How do you nurture from the physical to the emotional? Because the emotional, it's something that we don't see. The physical, you see it, and therefore that can dissipate with time because we don't remain the same. You talked about change, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, so the physical, whether you like it or not,
it will change.
It will change. Unfortunately, not for the better.
For the worse.
Not for the better.
So that's why pastors say for better, for worse.
So the physical, unfortunately, you know, the aging process, it's everybody, you know, but inevitable. We all experience that. But the emotional level, this is a level that can actually get better with time. You know, so I rather spend, you know, invest in something that will actually grow and get better than in something that will actually dissipate it doesn't mean that I'm going to neglect myself, but what I will stand on will be the emotional level more, because I know that I can do something about it.
Okay.
You see what I mean? So it's something I can do about it to make it better. Aging process is inevitable, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Then there's also the spiritual level.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Christian, so I'm a believer. So depending on your faith or whatever, I believe that at a spiritual level, the connection is also so important. To cement a relationship, to allow that bond to remain and to grow. And so that's where we are with that relationship. So relationships are important for society. You mentioned that our relationships are breaking down nowadays. We see it, and services like children's services wouldn't exist today if relationships were great everywhere. So that actually gave birth to services like that. Hospitals and mental health hospitals wouldn't exist today if relationships were so great. So they're actually getting more patients. I don't know if you're doing, but patients are increasing, those sectors.
Yeah, we are A&E, we are always creating, rooms, because the ambulances are parked there. Each and every day we're creating spaces for all these. Yeah.
And those relationships, if you think of it, Diana, they are the makeup of our societies, because they're actually individuals in those relationships. And what they leave is a legacy of those broken relationships to the children and the children's children. So they're so important. So this topic is definitely a hot topic that we need to nurture and develop and talk more about it.
Yeah, family. So if you want to ask a question, kindly request and I'll let you come on. Okay? Kindly request and I'll let you hop on. Yeah. And you can also type in the comment section if you want to request, if you want to be our guest, if you want to be our special guest. Just put okay. Emilia want to contribute. Please, this is an interesting topic and it's something that we can all relate to. So bring contribution. I will love your contributions. Let's help relationship. Relationship. Vicky, Sylvia, Comforts, the Emily. I've seen so many people here. Miss Barbara, Fee, May. Guys, ask your questions. Otherwise, I will just be asking all the questions for you. Share. And bring your contributions. Bring all your contributions. Okay, Sir Lauren. I put down about 3 questions. Okay, so that it could help us flow. Yeah. So my first question is, what are the key emotional factors that can create a strong bond between people? Like, emotional factors that can support, create a strong relationship bond. What are some of them?
One, I've got a few in mind, but I'm going to stick to only 2 or 3 or 4.
Okay.
One of them is communication. Communication is such an important factor, and it's got to be consistent communications, because you do have now I'm thinking couples now, but communication is a main factor to nurture, to flourish, to have a flourish relationship and bond with people together. So you see a couple, for example, at the beginning of the relationship or the marriage, text messages, phone calls, where are you, where I am, and then as time goes on, that dissipates, and you become so sometimes it can just be the way of life, isn't it?
So we are talking about bonding strongly in relationship. Sorry, someone was asking. Auntie Comfort, I see you. Thank you. And thank you so much, Interacting. Can you talk about strong bond in friendship? Okay, we'll get there.
Okay. So somebody wants in friendship.
In friendship. So
communication is for any type of relationship. Okay. What is friendship, family? So ongoing communication.
All right.
Consistent. Be consistent in communication.
Yeah. Thank you, Shibango.
Mutual respect.
Mutual respect in friendship.
In friendship,
every relationship.
Every relationship, mutual respect.
Respect is very important, though.
It's so important. It's so important because there are things that you will not do to yourself. Why would you do it to the other? Why would you do that to the other if you know that you don't want anybody to do it to yourself? So with respect come with values, because you value the person and you have your own values as well.
Okay.
Because I've seen people from even different cultural backgrounds. What is allowed in one community is not allowed in the other.
Yes.
So if you have respect and you have that understanding that respect is important for you, you will learn, try to understand the other person's values as well, the community.
Wow.
And then that will allow you to step on their toes. The things that I came to your house, I asked you if I have to remove my shoes.
Yes.
It's not every community do that. Some community will be no, you don't remove shoes in houses. These are little things, little foxes I call them. So you learn the person's values. Wow. You help the person to get to know your values.
Okay.
And then you won't step on each other's toes.
Okay.
So the person will feel valued. Because in relationship, if you don't feel valued, why would you stay with the person? Why would you consider the person? I always have in my mind an image of a circle, different circle. You're in the middle, and you want the first circle, close net, your close net.
Yeah.
And then you have another circle, your friends, and then you have acquaintances.
Yeah.
And you have just people that you know.
Okay.
That's the bigger circle, people that you know.
Yeah.
The other vision, the other thing I've got in my mind, because I'm a visual person, Diana.
Okay.
It's a bus. So you are a passenger in that bus, on that bus.
Okay.
And then every bus stop, somebody gets off. And at the end, the terminus is you and whoever was going at the same destination. Yeah. And one being that stays with me is Jesus. You're gonna be Christian again. I've got
so
confidence.
this bus thing.
It's
this bus thing. I want you, don't go there. Don't get down. We are still on the bus. I have a nice question, because life in itself is like a journey, isn't it? So people will come and go.
That's it.
But sometimes our behavior make people get off. Because in the bus, if you are screaming and shouting and other things, people will just get off. Maybe that person was not meant to get off. So we have that ideology that people come and go, and people just let people go just like that. Even with a little offense, they just let people go, but they don't know the addition that person was coming to add in their life. Yeah, to their life. So people are just riding on this to just step on people's toes, So I'm happy that you brought it up. We should know that this circle that you are talking about is in everybody's life, and and I'm happy that you brought it. And I'm just imagining me, so I'm visualizing it like the circle and the bus that we are all in. And you said a stop. When you are going to get off, the people that goes and comes, and at the end, what happens? It's left with you and the what? Determination, whatever.
First of all, you've got those stops. So those stops are significant events in your life. Yeah? And you mentioned something. Significant event, when you stop, the bus stops are those significant events. It could be that you got more people coming in.
Okay.
And some people going out.
Like now I'm meeting more people.
That's it.
With this Diana's diary.
It's a significant
at some point, I didn't have like much.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then you've got your input in whether they're going to stay on the bus.
Okay.
like in a bus, you can say, okay, actually, this is not the right stop. You're getting on the next one. This is not your stop. Stay. That one will take you closer to it. So let's stay.
Okay.
So in life is the same. Your attitude, the changes that you impress in your life might bring people closer to you, or might actually, push them away from you, like you mentioned. The other way also is these people also, they come with their own luggages, their own perceptions, their own directions, and they realize that the bus is actually not the right bus that they should be in that relationship, and they leave. So it's a bit that dynamics that I'm talking about. But if we stay with the bond, we stay with the mindset of the bond,
and we ourselves, if we are in the bus, we shouldn't, our behavior shouldn't let people go.
No, and I like when you keep on saying that, because you can see that you value people. So depending on who you are, because if you value people and you value relationships, then you have that element of self-reflection. You start reflecting on what is happening in my life. I've noticed this person who was sitting next to me on the bus is now standing up, ready to go. What do I do to keep them? Because that person is meaningful for my life. Yeah. Because of the bond, because of the relationship, because of you understanding who you are, who that person is. Remember, we talked about respect, mutual respect, understanding person. Because you have nurtured that already. You get to a point where you think, I don't want that person to go. So what do I do? Or I actually want that person to go, because sometimes separation is not always bad.
Sometimes you need some people out of your life just to have your peace of mind.
Sometimes it's actually what actually makes you grow. Some
people, no matter how you bend them,
some relationship can be toxic.
They want you to even sink.
Some relationship can be toxic.
People like that.
Some relationship can be toxic.
Especially in marriage too. If you think that woman who died, if you think that is abusive, it's something that will make you end your life.
Terrible.
It's
terrible. So there are cases like that, but in terms of bonding, the bond you want to focus on today, as you said, I don't want to get away from the bond.
Please, let's not deviate. I think I'm the one pushing you to deviate.
It's about,
all right.
So we talked about communication, we talked about mutual respect, didn't we?
Yes.
And I want to talk also about that shared emotional experiences. And these come with memories, and things that you would have gone through. For example, if somebody wants to talk about friendship, let's say one of you maybe lost a family member, a sad memory, and the other one was there for her at that particular time, or you went through similar experiences at different times, so you can actually understand the other and be there with the person in a more in a way, not just as a spectator, but as actually a participant, an actor also in that situation. It makes such a difference.
Thank you.
So when you have those shared moments, those shared emotional experiences, that also seals the bond between two people, whether it's friendship, family. You've seen families sometimes they don't talk to each other, or they live in different parts of the world, and then one significant event brings everybody
together.
Then you realize actually,
I love it. Then
you realize
families come together, especially like Christmas.
It could be Christmas, it could be that
Easter.
A grandparent maybe let's say turned 90 and everybody's there.
Mr. Lauren, let me ask this question. How come, you are from Congo, isn't it? I'm Ghanaian. But back home in Ghana, when I used to celebrate Christmas, we don't maybe extend it. One culture that I love here is that during Christmas, they plan it like if the mother or the grandparents had 5 children, they will plan ahead of time and make that, okay, we are meeting in this person's house. And the whole family, their grandchildren, their aunties, and maybe the house cannot even contain all of them. Yes, but what I've learned about the white here is that they really value that kind of family relationship. So my question to you is, why is it that we are lacking that? I don't know whether Congo, you people do that, but in Ghana, I never saw like my auntie, my uncle, my other siblings, like we come together Christmas and see that how they enjoy, because I have been invited. Luckily, I used to look after this gentleman. He was a Jewish English. They were rich. Like, he had a hotel back in Oxford Street, and I was lucky to nurse him. So during Christmas, they realized that I didn't have any family here, and he invited me to go there. And since that time, my mindset changed. Every Christmas, I'm inviting the people that I love, if they can come to spend Christmas with me, or I will plan with a friend. Last year, luckily I went to Dr. Pamela, like a friend of mine that. So I realized that occasions like that, we have to steal that moment. I don't want to answer the question, but this is something that I want you to have your take, because of your experience as a coach, as a mentor, as an author. What can we do as African to inculcate this behavior in our life? Because it's really good. When they came, that he was a grandfather as at that time.
Okay.
His children were very busy, but they all left their businesses or their commitments just to be there. And I saw their children, he was so happy, I was happy, I did enjoy it. They gave me lots of presents. They were happy to even see me there, because the dad might have told them how I care for him and the difference I have made. So with your take, how can we inculcate this in our African society, that we can enjoy relationship, especially in families? My sister is in US, my other sister is in Australia. If I tell them to come, they don't see the essence, because we weren't brought up that way. Like, we were brought up, me, them, my mom. That time my dad was not there, so we have always enjoyed Christmas together. But you will see the difference it will make if I happen to see my sister. Now she has 2 kids, her husband, my other sister's husband, my husband's family, their family. Would you see that kind of,
I would say, you know what, Diana, the situation we're in, you and I, for example, we are in diaspora. We live in the diaspora. Back home, as a child, family gatherings were quite common. From our family, were quite common when people come together for different reasons. But since I've lived in diaspora, I can see that this is dissipating for my generations, because, as you said, people are doing their own thing.
Yes.
People are different countries. And sometimes it could be for economical reasons as well.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say that people really don't care. I think people are distracted by different issues, social issues that unfortunately have been created. You mentioned that family, it's a well of family you mentioned. So they have that opportunity. Yes, they value family, but they also have that opportunity to do that as well, financially. Maybe even bought tickets for others to come. I would do that if I could. But yes, it's an opportunity for us, as you said. This was an eye opener for you. And I think when we talk about shared values, shared emotional values, it's about us also taking that responsibility and think, look, I value my family, I value my siblings, I value my cousins. Let me take some let me make some extra effort to see them often, because if you don't nurture those relationships, what about your children? What about the children? Can you imagine 2 siblings, you grew up in the same family, because of diaspora, you end up in different countries, and your children only see once in 18 years? Families are broken. So one thing I've told my children, about 3 kids, is make sure you live in the same country. That's my motto to them. Live in the same country.
But sis, living in different countries shouldn't restrict this, because we have a whole year to plan this. If you value relationship,
as I agree,
if you value relationship,
you do it.
Honestly.
But I've realized that those who live in the same country have less they have less barriers.
Because if you value relationship, you wouldn't mind spending £10,000 coming to have just a day relationship with someone that you love. I would do that.
And to be fair, I do agree with that, but because I've seen when they say people can forget what you say, they can forget what you did, but they won't forget how you make them feel.
Hey, yes.
Have you heard that?
Yes, I've heard that.
I've actually seen how people will react when
someone like the bad. Yeah.
So when I've made the effort to spend money on a ticket, the cheapest ticket doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But travel to spend time with them for 1 week, just for a specific event, a birth of the child. I'm not mentioning. My family member, we know what I'm talking about. The birth of a child. You say, look, I'm not going to look at my finances. That child is also my child. It's my grandchild, my nephew, my nieces. I'm gonna go. I want to be there. I'm not gonna miss it. I'm going. Yeah, empty-handed, not empty-handed. I'm going because that's my family member, or that's my friend who's graduating for some reason, or any significant event, and you make the effort. The way you make them feel, you cannot buy it. It's invaluable.
Yeah,
it's invaluable. So I do agree with that. So those shared emotional experiences, isn't it? Because you found out that if you miss that Christmas, you miss the birth of a child, you miss graduation, you miss that, how will you nurture? How you will, strengthen those bonds? So yes, it takes an effort, isn't it, Diana?
Yeah, it takes a lot.
It takes a lot of effort.
Yeah. We have. I'll let you speak to these people. Sylvia, thank you for your question. We'll just answer shortly because of your time. So Sylvia is asking, when relationship is one-sided, what do you do?
Oh, it's really hard. And you know what? Is it Sylvia? What's her name?
Yeah.
Sylvia, it's really, really hard when it's one-sided. It's very, very hard. Because you ask yourself, it depends also which relationship we're talking about. Are you talking about friendship, relationship? Is it your spouse? Is it your sibling? Is it your parents? So that the response to that,
know how to
the response to that will be different as well.
All right, so let us know which one. Very interesting topic. Comfort. Amankwa, my mom. Thank you so much for joining Diana's Diary. We've got GMT. She says, how do you show respect?
Oh, that's a good one.
How do you show respect? By showing respect, a lot of people think that just saying please. Some people will insult you and just say please.
Okay.
There's a woman, she was like, remove that please and tell me what you are telling me. It doesn't make sense because like you are making a sentence, but the please is
and I would say, my answer to that is, first of all, you need to know what respect means to the other person.
Oh, okay.
It's very, very important because there's a book which is called the 5 Languages of Love.
Okay.
Have you heard of that book, Nana?
Yeah.
So you might think, as you said, by saying please to you is respect, but the other one, it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
Auntie, uncle, but still, you don't value the person.
Yeah.
You see the person, you don't greet the person, but you call them auntie, uncle. It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? you know what I mean? A simple example: a pregnant woman is standing in front of you. You're sitting, and you can see that she's tired. Why don't you give your seat to that? So there are different layers of respect. You've seen people who, for example, cheating on their partners, and with maybe even cheating is already wrong, but cheating with somebody who's very close, the sister or the brother or the best friend. There are so many layers of this respect.
Africa, this pregnant woman that you are talking about, back home, there's no way a young boy will be sitting on a chair and a grown-up If they say you need to get up, that is respect for us. But in this country, it doesn't matter. I'm like, hey,
they're on buses.
They don't respect.
But
and even in train. But some big people will get up for your child to sit down. Some grown-ups.
But if you notice, if you go on bus, if you use public transport, trains or buses, even stations, they will put a note there. If a woman, they see the sign, pregnant women, people with people with additional needs and all that, leave those seats for them. There are seats specific for them. Even parking spaces. Even parking spaces. So respect's got different layers, really. Okay. It's got to be defined. It's respect that the norms, general norms have been defined, and I respect that individual consider to be respect. So you need to actually understand also those that general norms that those we mentioned, that everybody will say, oh, that's disrespectful to do that. You know? Talking with your mouth, food. Some people will say that is disrespectful. It depends on what you define it. But knowing also what the other person considers respect is important. It's important, you know. Yeah. It's so important.
Okay. Thank you. So yes, mutual respect. Every relationship is important. Examples of showing respect, we've mentioned that. I like your examples, Sister Lauren. For communication, this has to be two ways in every relationship, Sister Emily. Sister Emily, thank you so much for always joining Diana's Diary. I appreciate you. Thank you. Hi everyone. Hi Duru T. Thank you. Emily again. Beautiful illustrations with the moving bars. Thank you. They like your
people like the illustrations because it makes sense, isn't it? It actually
they can relate.
You can relate and you will keep them for life. I'm a visual person. When I see that, I remember the bars forever. I remember the circles forever. That thing that you don't need to think twice. Yeah, it's very important. So you need to know.
I knew you were going to nail this topic. All right. Thank you, Lady D, for that beautiful. Thank you, Lady D, for that, because our input in there can change the course of event. Thank you.
Definitely.
We were loving it. And maybe I interrupted you. We have to be intentional about it.
That's true.
Isn't it?
You have to.
You need to be very intentional. Both friendship. Oh, okay. She's talking about Sylvia. She asked with regards to one-sided relationship. So she's talking about friendship, not in marriage. So maybe someone is your friend and you are the only one calling. You are the only one doing it. It happens, isn't it?
To me, Dana,
if you love the person, know who the person is, and just.
Friendship and
I will just flow.
Friendship evolves. So you need to evaluate your friendship, isn't it?
Yeah. You need to know.
You need to evaluate your friendship. There are seasons, you know. Life, you mentioned it. There's so many changes.
Very important topic. Thank you, Duru. The essence of life. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Where are we with that?
Just so at the moment we are just talking about bonding. Okay, bonding in relationship, bonding strongly. I've added strongly to it. Okay, how important is shared values and belief systems in forming lasting relationships?
Shared values are so important in belief system. I'll give you an example, Diana.
I like
when you need to resolve issues. Where do you stand? If you don't share, you don't have the same values, you don't understand your beliefs, it's going to be a huge problem. That's why I mentioned before that you need to make sure you understand the other person's values, the other person's belief system, and they understand yours. Because in time of troubles, that's when you will need to know how to deal with that. Simple, you know. I'm not even giving you detail because people sometimes forget those times. There are valleys and mountains in relationships. There are bus stops everywhere. So how do you resolve those issues when you don't understand each other's values?
So you can't just get up and say, I want to resolve issue with you. Come here. You did this to me and I don't. You have to look
You
at
need
the
to understand what it will mean if I said, let's sit down and invite, let's say, my mother or my so and so. What does it mean for the other person? Is it something acceptable in the eyes of the other person, in the way they perceive, solution solving, tool, if I can use that.
Yeah.
Will you consider counseling? Is that something that the person will understand? The values of the person? Is the person open to
some people, they don't like taking their issue to pastors.
To anybody.
So, yeah,
to anybody. But at the same time, they don't want to resolve the issue. They say, yes, we're going to resolve it, or sorry, and that's it. But the sorry will not really actually resolve the root, will not go to the root of the problem. So those are the things that shared value are so important. That's so important. Now, I did, in terms of guidance, and even in terms of guidance, where do you get that guidance? You mentioned again. Yeah. If you don't share, you don't have those shared values. Where do you get? You're thinking A, I'm thinking B, and I don't want to consider your A. You don't want to consider my B. Where do we get that? Problem. It's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. So shared values, to answer your question, is a very important relationship, and you have to agree, both of you, friends, family, couple, to make that time to listen to the person, because communication is coming back again. With communication, you are able to formulate how you feel, to formulate what you want, to formulate what you think will be suitable for that relationship or that situation to get better or to improve. So we need to also listen. Listening is part of communication. Some people think it's only talking. But from listening, from listening you learn so much. Do you know what I mean? From listening you learn so much. And even as a Christian, I'm going back in Christianity. A prayer is not just speaking to God. You need to wait to listen. Wait also. Listen. And God speaks back to us. It does. It does. And sometimes people say it doesn't. It does. It does. And the listening relationship is also visual. Because with the body language, you actually can learn a lot from someone. Because remember, in relationship, you've got an introvert and an extrovert sometimes. Yes. So how do you learn communication from an introvert? The Nigerian I love one that says, shine your eyes. Shine your eyes. Shine your eyes. Oh my goodness, I'm enjoying this. Alright, that leads me to my fourth question. What role does vulnerability play in strengthening a relationship? I'm going back to communication. Vulnerability and allows you to invite the person in your inner world. Does it make sense? Remember the small circle? I'm going back to that circle because that's your inner circle. So by being able to tell a person for example, thing that you're afraid of, it allows that person, it gives that person the opportunity to get closer to you, to strengthen that bond. It's a dangerous place to be, but it's a risky and beneficial place when you want that relationship to grow. So both of you, if you know each other's vulnerability, then you can you're allowing that person to become your strength, the other side of you that you need, that compatibility. Now I'm going back more couples, because with friendship you have to be careful also what vulnerability you allow the person into. With friendship you have to be very selective about that vulnerability, because it can work against you if the person is not really able to help you to strengthen. He will use that. It can break you, and it can also break the person with the wrong advices. But if I go back in terms of couples, I'm going back to couples vulnerability. It can actually strengthen that relationship, but the person will have that opportunity to help you deal with those vulnerabilities. So communication, going back to it again, how do you communicate those vulnerabilities is a skill, and that's why some people need coaching. Go back to coaching now. I'm not saying my coaching, but I think it's important, because if you haven't learned it, how to communicate it, it will it can be misinterpreted by the other party. You will not know what to do with it, or we break it. So it's another skill to learn. How to share, how to open up to someone. Those aspects of your life actually you will need some support, for example. For example, mental health. Somebody might also have maybe a sickness and they don't really know how to verbalize it, and because of that, the person will think, they're making me, if I'm with this person, they're making me weaker. When actually, this is not really something that will affect your relationship. The person just needs support, because there are so many qualities and skills that person has that can change your life, and you might miss out because of you focusing on that specific aspect of that person's life. Does it make sense?
Wow. This
So,
is deep.
yes.
Because with this vulnerability, growing up, I've never had any encounter. Like, my mom has always been my friend, okay? And you know, mothers, you share your everything with them, and you know, they won't judge you or whatsoever. Now see me here, and it's Diana's diary. I just want to share, because we need to be careful.
Yes.
I remember having, you know, you found your husband, and you don't want to always be going to your mom with the things that, you know, sometimes how you feel, because they'll always be on your side. So I happened to have this friend that I chose like a sister to me. So sometimes you need to be careful, because you come to trust someone that I'm someone that I don't lie. I don't like to lie. So if someone is lying, I feel I take it as a big deal, and people can just lie with so much confidence, and I don't know how they do it. Honestly, I don't know how they do it. So with this friend of mine, I did trust her, that whatever that I share with her is like truth. It's the truth and my vulnerability. Sometimes maybe I'm going through pain, or a friend has done something to me, and I will come and express to her, because she will give me her honest advice. She was, to me, very loyal. And we had disagreement, and she's just using those times to say that, like me being truthful, she will turn it around. You know, like maybe so we should be careful.
Definitely.
At our vulnerability, the information that we share to people, you might be telling the person how you feel, because when you are vulnerable, you give your all out. You come out, this is how I feel, this is how, you know, you make me feel. I didn't like that, but maybe you might be my friend. But the one that I'm going to express it to, when you have issue with her, come back and say to the other person that she meant that way.
Yes. And that's why I said you have to be careful.
Yes.
In friendship, you have to really, and again it's difficult, Diana, because you said that you knew her as a sister.
Yes.
You
sister that
you considered her as a sister, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think that shouldn't stop ones to still give a chance to friendship at that level. Because
but it taught me a big lesson. It taught me a big lesson, how much information you can share with a friend.
That's it.
Because that friend can never be like a mom. Because like I'm telling you, it has always been my mom. And I'm friendly. Everybody is my friend. Everybody is my friend. But the thing is that it's not
at some level.
Yes. I have just one person, and at a point in time of my life, I say it here on Diana's diary, I take one friend at a time. I can't do two friends.
Some people are like that.
I can't do two friends. So when I was young, I've always had this one friend, and if that everybody that come close to me know that this is my friend. And I show my friends off. Whoever comes knows that this is my real friend. And whoever is there, you are all my friend, I can help you.
They're not at this level.
Yes. So at that point, I think I just want to use Diana's diary to, you know, just tell people who you also want to help in your life at some point. Like we are doing relationship. It's not everybody, because I offered to help a friend of mine that was suffering. Like okay? And in dealing with her, I said, no, this is what you can do, this is what you can do. And it turned out wrongly, okay? And this cost me a lot growing up, okay? And we need to learn from the things that we do. It's a lesson for me.
Yes.
It's a lesson for me. And I just want to advise somebody out there that you might be loyal, you might be at your vulnerability. Don't disclose so much. Don't expose too much to people, because people are not God.
I like that. I like that. And you know what? You know, Diana, if you learn to love yourself, love your own presence, and love God's presence, it will actually help you to do what you're saying. Because a lot of people, you can't replace God, and you can't replace yourself.
No.
You can't replace God, you can't replace yourself. So yes, this person that you probably confide into herself maybe had their own issues. If you go deep down, you find that she had her own issues, unresolved issues. So you actually share those information to the wrong person because she had issues herself. She wasn't ready even to carry the thing you were sharing with her. And that's another thing. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people like that, unresolved issues,
And because that person has a bit of truth, can turn it around to make you think that you are a gossip. But meanwhile, you are speaking to just one person, at your vulnerability stage, and you might be saying the truth. And if anybody that hears it thinks that, oh, there's a bit of truth about me in it, so you have been talking about me, and that might not be the case. And this is what a lot of people are suffering, and people even can kill themselves out of this.
Yeah, that's deadly. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. But the bond, if you look at that, about trust, about vulnerability, that's also the question.
Yes, vulnerability,
You have to, as you say, you have to measure. Number one, how much vulnerable you can expose yourself to, and also who you're sharing that, who you're opening up to.
Yes.
And what's the impact it will have.
I think that we should just do God.
Yes.
If you trust in God, you believe in God. Let's do God, because you can't trust anybody.
No, I think Dana, you can to a certain extent.
To a certain extent, but you can't.
Because what I don't want is some people to hear that and thinking they can't trust. There are people you can actually trust. I'm a trustworthy person. I think I can. I think I'm trustworthy.
1 minute, just communicate. I'm coming.
So it's about what you do with that trust and who you trust. So I don't want anybody to be discouraged completely. No, but it is rare. But when you find that person that you can trust, cherish that relationship. Because it's not found everywhere. It's not, found in every
some
corner.
people are trustworthy.
Some people are trustworthy. Dan, are you trustworthy?
I am.
That's it. So if we consider ourselves trustworthy, we can say
I can't disclose. Regardless of whatsoever, like disclose it to people. No.
But can you keep somebody's secret?
Yes, 100%.
You see, so there are people like Diana. There are people like myself. But it's about how do you find those people? If you find those people, cherish those people. Cherish, because they do exist. They are very rare, but they do exist. So cherish those people. Cherish those relationships. And then open up to God, who will allow you, who will tell you that you can open up to those people.
Yes.
Trust God in the process. It's a process.
In the first place, you should value the fact that someone has disclosed to you that, oh, I wanted to commit suicide.
Yes. Anything like personal.
Personal, you should value it. I value that kind of thing, because like there's a lot of people there, even you might be married, you didn't even disclose it to your husband, but you've been able to disclose it to me. Why must I share that when you offend me? Why must I say that when we have issues? No, that's not nice. I don't think people should do that.
That person should just get off the bus.
Get off the bus.
Just get off the bus. The next bus stop. You just get off. You don't keep that person. That's toxic.
Oh yeah. I made him or her out immediately
on the bus
with immediate effect. Because people like that can kill you, can make you, no, you don't need people like that. He's off the bus.
Off the bus.
He is off the bus. I've made him out. All right. Okay, yeah. So my last questions, then we call it a day. Okay. What are some daily habits or practices that help couples stay emotionally connected?
Wow.
Some of the daily habits or practices.
Somebody likes friendship. Are you going couples?
Hey! Okay.
Couple? Okay, let's go couples now.
Okay.
I think for couples, and I mentioned it before, at the beginning of a relationship, check-ins. You know check-ins?
No.
Check-ins is finding out how the person is doing. It could be in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening.
Okay.
How are you doing? Text message. Because we love our phones now, isn't it? So check-ins. That's one of them. Another one is
sorry.
Say it.
Text message.
No,
saying.
Speaking. Say something to the person. Speaking. Communicate to the person.
Someone want to join us. Okay. Okay, Chloe. Okay. Maybe she's not ready. She just accepted.
Word of appreciation.
Hey!
Appreciate.
Hey! My mom was like, hey, every little thing that you do, I wish you appreciate. Every time. I love it. I appreciate people. And it's not like I'm demanding something that I don't want. I like to appreciate people, even with the little things. So I feel like, why can't you just say, comment and yeah, people tend to write on them. So this is nice.
And you know what's interesting? The West, they created all these little special days. Yeah. Father's Days, Mother's Days. And now I've heard there's a son days, like sons days for boys, sons days, and daughters days.
Daughters Day, Mother's Day.
Those are days created to appreciate each other. Even Valentine's Day, they just for appreciation.
Some people say, "Oh, my wife is always Valentine's Day. It's not that day that I should celebrate them specially." I don't buy that, sister. You know why I don't buy that? People just say that out, just words. Oh, I value my wife. It's not Valentine's Day that I have to. Do you every day buy wine for your wife?
It's appreciation day. Those days.
Appreciation day. Make it special. You don't cook for your wife all the time. On that day, it's something special that you do. So people shouldn't write on that and say that every day is special day for me and my husband. But you don't do it every day. No, you don't do it anything special. So I'm happy that you have brought it up. Valentine's Day, appreciate. And we should still that moment, like Christmas, please. Those, I wanted to talk about it on Diana's Diary this Sunday. Like, just do it all myself. So it's a moment that I'm still in just to say it.
Okay.
Because Valentine's Day, birthdays, they have,
anniversaries.
God has made somebody thought of all this to bring it in our calendar the whole year.
For a reason.
So let's take advantage of it. Let's just, Sister Lauren, I don't joke with it though.
Me neither.
I don't joke with it. Just so that moment to make friendship better. Easter, I want to call little friends of mine to come over so that we can enjoy. Valentine's Day, I want to make it special for my husband.
Your birthday,
I want to make it special. The Children's Day. So any day set aside.
Appreciation. Appreciate. That's the word.
Thank you for bringing it in.
Now, the other one is people sometimes forget about that. It's physical touch. How can you spend the whole day with your partner? No physical, not even rubbing shoulders like this. How? That's sad, isn't it?
I wonder why is that.
Do you know that was an experience?
Like when you walk in, you were like, you gave me a kiss on my cheeks. You do that. Since I was giving me a kiss, I'm like, people do it more cheeks.
I was wearing my French hat when I came. So when we kiss is normal.
Kiss is normal.
So that physical contact.
I learned it here, but back home we don't do that.
Not even hands. Hugs.
Hugs, not really. You say, oh, hello. I think we do the embracing back home. We do the embracing. But the kiss is here. I learned it from the people that have looked after, like,
Really?
The white.
You'd be surprised. I mean, hats off for the francophones and the French countries, because I went in Belgium one time, and even police officers kiss to say hello.
Police officers?
At work, colleagues.
Is it normal like this?
Kissing normal.
Oh.
So just that. Can you see how you are bonding without realizing it? Because of physical touch. It doesn't have to be, it's not sexual, it's just emotional.
Okay.
It actually helps you emotionally to bond. The physical touches, you know. You see a lot of people holding hands. You don't have to hold hands. It's not necessary. You can't force it. You can't fake it. But there's so many ways that actually you can spend read things, sitting next to the person, doing something, at least touching, knowing that the person is alive. We're alive. We're human beings. We're social beings.
It's very true. You know, when like in my field of work.
Yes.
In my field of work, touching means a lot. It makes the person know that you really care.
Yes.
And that you are feeling the pain.
Yes. Even on the hand, huh? Nurses do that. They come and just touch like this.
Yeah. There's a gentleman that came to me, and he had a boil, and it's a topic that I need someone to treat it with me. So I'm someone that when I'm nursing, I just want to do holistic. You know, we are very busy, and where I work is very, very busy. So we tend not to look at the whole of the situation, your condition. You just come, we take bloods, we do this, bam, 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 you go. And this gentleman, it wasn't really busy, A&E. So I just was, taking my bloods and everything, and I said, how is it there? How is it going? Then he started, to speak to me, because I had to put the blood, close to him. So when he saw my ring, he started expressing. He thinks that emotionally he's going through a lot, because he just married and the wife is not giving her sex, okay, for the past 11 months. And he started to confide in me because he saw my ring. And how I was talking to him, like, with that, it's not like I'm touching him or I'm not allowed, but with your sense of communication, people get to
that connection. They can get that connection. Yeah, definitely.
So it's very, very true with this kind of touch. And there's a patient mental health. Sometimes if you get to touch them, it's not the opposite. I'm not telling any nurse to go and do that. Yeah, don't go and do that. But it depends on the situation. There's a girl that was abused, and when you touch her, she feels you are coming to, So there's different ways of how to go around with this touching. But it's in all, overall, I think it is
touching plays a big role in somebody's in human beings, because we social beings. We're not meant to be isolated and in a box or living on an island on our own. So touching, there's a reason. Touching is different.
Especially someone, expressing their pain and worries, and you giving the person a hug.
It meant so much
to make the person know that you understand. But sometimes our profession also create barriers when it comes to touching, isn't it? You don't have that.
We don't have that, but we do have. What comes to my mind, Diana? You don't have to touch necessarily with body. You can touch with your words. Yeah, that came to my mind straight away. Touching.
So that was what happened. Because with the man who confided in me and told me, and by the time and this is what I always still with my patient, and they're like, they didn't just come to the hospital, because whatever I'm doing it, but I want them to trust me and also feel comfortable.
That's it.
So I always want to leave a mark with every patient that I come in contact with. And this gentleman left, smiling. Even I referred him to muscular fast, but he was so happy to even go home, because he thinks that It's emotional that made him get whatever he got. So he was like, I gave him antibiotics because it was blah blah blah. And I said he was looking for me. He went to another nurse. Please, the nurse that looked for me, he described me because I forgot to mention my name. So the nurse was like, yeah, this girl, he was looking for the smallest girl who is chubby, friendly. And they said, oh, it's Diana. So I went to him and he was like, thank you so much. I'm so happy that I was able to speak out. And thank you for the referral. He was to come back the following week. So it's sometimes the touch is not touch.
There are different levels of touching. So yes,
it's your words.
Yes.
That touches the soul.
Touches the soul. Touches the emotion. Deepness is very deep. That small moment that you spend. And those are the type of things that can change somebody even in decision making in health. Decision making because of one word. When you make them feel, they say, no, I'm doing this. I remember one person, she probably watching me now.
I like example.
We came to the UK and she felt so isolated. And she said, I took her out without knowing that she was feeling that isolated. I knew she was saying it. I didn't realize she was coming from one African country, Tanzania, by the way. And 15 years down the line, I met her again after 15 years. And she was still telling me how I made her feel. I'm thinking, what did I do? She said, the thing that you said, the thing that when you took me, don't leave any different thing, is nothing. That's what I said, can make somebody change even a decision. So a perception even the UK has changed. Because for her, the UK was no. Now she actually even bought a house in the UK. That little encounter changed. So that man that you met is the reason you met him, and whatever you said to him, touched him, and even his perception of health
changed.
His
idea. Yeah. I said, oh, don't worry, you can trust me. We are nursing holy. He said, I know I don't have to tell you this, but if I tell my friends, they'll be asking me and teasing me that, oh, has she given it to you? But he's happy that I've availed myself for him to tell me. And he felt so, like her facial expression was like broad, like you could see that he's happy.
That's amazing.
And
see, so I've given you a few tips. It's more, and hopefully
because of your time.
Yes.
So everyone, I want you to give your last remarks whilst I look through. Whoever has sent us anything, your last remarks that you want to tell people when it comes to relationship. What's your advice to people in marriage, people in friendship, people, family, extended families? Is there any last remarks you want to?
I think first of all, there's lots of comments. I want to say first of all, let's all agree on one thing: relationships are important.
Okay.
Relationships are important. A lot of people have been, as you said it, Diana, have been disappointed. It's part of life, and my book says it. My book, again, I'm going to mention.
We're going to buy
again.
that book. We are going to buy it.
I hope you will. So mistake is not an option. So there's a chapter around about relationships as well in that book. So every step of the way, what you learned makes you stronger. And if you learn from it, it makes you stronger. So you learn from it. Love yourself, and have a relationship with your Creator, with God. Then allow your neighbor, the person, I mean your neighbor, the person next to you, to make mistakes as well. Because if you don't, you will mistaken that neighbor for God. And that's where, we talk about vulnerability, that we think that people can carry, what you have, not necessarily. So allow that as well. So learn yourself, learn the person who you have a relationship with. Do not regret what you invested in it, because in the past sometimes it's worth it, because you don't know what the person's going to deposit in you. So if you think and you've got a conviction it's worth it, invest in it and communicate. Use those information I've said, and let's see how it will flourish. If it doesn't flourish, learn from it. Move on. Next bus stop. Another one will coming. Another one will get off. The last thing I want to say, Diana. Please, let's agree that there are different levels of relationships.
Let me put it on you.
The inner circle, close friends, and acquaintances, and people we know. So it's when you start mistaking who's who, and who should be in what circle, that the problem starts. So learn who's in the position of people around you. Who are they? Are they your close net? Are they your friends? Your relationships? Acquaintances, or just people you know?
Wow. It's been great. It's been great having you on Diana's Diary. I just want you to tell people, now that I've got you, with a little encounter you've had with me. Just tell them why they should keep watching Diana's Diary and see Diana's Diary grow.
Diana's Diary, it's an opportunity to grow. Whoever's come here, we definitely grow. You will learn something, because Diana's got something that God has deposited in her that is unique. So this platform is a unique platform where you will listen, you will hear things that you never heard before. There are things that will be repeated. Remember that repetition is sometimes very key to growth. So you will learn things that you've heard before, things that you've never learned before, you haven't heard before, and your life will never be the same again.
Yeah.
So this is the platform to come in, to change and make change happen. Thank you.
Thank you,
Diana.
everyone. Thank you, Sister Lauren.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure. And I'm so happy that you've given me this time. This time would have paid you like £1,000.
I'm the one who's thankful and grateful, and yes, I've enjoyed it, and thank you.
Thank you
come
so
again?
much.
Yeah.
I have a little thank you present just to give you off camera. Thank
yes,
you.
You see, that's the touch we're talking about.
Yes, that's the touch. See you.
Bye.
God bless you for watching, everyone. I appreciate you this time for tuning in. Hi.
Bye.